Hey, good morning to everybody. Happy Tuesday. It's Daryl here. It is bright and freaking early, man. It's 3 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. As I see myself in the viewfinder here, I see my hair is getting taller and taller. I'm actually going to make it to the barber's this Friday. My car has been down. If you've been watching my videos, my car has been, I have one mechanic that I trust and I go to. And he's been incredibly busy with the snow season coming up, snow tires and all that, the time of year where the weather transitions here. And I'm finally going to get my car fixed tomorrow, and I'll get my hair cut Friday. Okay, enough about that. This morning, I started looking into, I guess I was kind of hesitant to look into what's going on in Israel. Because I have a gut feeling that I really, my gut feeling is the world's going to divide. There's going to be another world war. That's what I feel is coming. I feel like we're going to have Russia, China, Iran, North Korea on one side, and the rest of us on the other side. And I really get a gut feeling that that's what's starting to take place in different Ukraine and now in Israel. And I've been hesitant to really. I just kind of been ignoring it, I think. So this morning I read an article about a particular dash cam video that showed particularly a brutal part of this incursion into Israel by Hamas. There's a dash cam, I believe it's in a car, and it's filming. It's just sitting there, filming away and watching what's taking place. This is at the music festival. I can't remember. SUPERNOVA, I think it was called. SUPERNOVA at a kibbutz. I don't know what the word kibbutz means. And the video it took me a while to find this video this morning. It's particularly harsh. I'll describe it to you in a bit. It's going to be the first link right down below. I read the description of what happens in this video. And it's brutal. It's really what's happening here. It's something that I try to seek out when I see things like this happening. I see this is a dash cam video, just not on one side, not on the other side, but just filming away at what's happening. Kind of objective. That's something that I want to see. So I sought it out this morning and I found the link. It's going to be down below. It's a YouTube link right down below. And I still have, I think, my feelings on this. I don't know why I feel like this, but I feel empathy for both sides on this. Let me start at the beginning here. I thought about this. I never had a friend who was Palestinian. I've never talked to a Palestinian person. I hate to say that. I've watched a lot of Palestinian movies by Palestinian directors about what happens in the Gaza Strip, how their daily life goes. And some of it's heartbreaking. I'll have links down below to some of the movies that I've watched. One's called The Present. It's a 20-minute video filmed by a Palestinian director, Palestinian people. And it's about a man and his daughter trying to find a present for a wedding. There's several other ones there. I watched another movie where a man was trying to get to, I don't know if it was his wedding or his family's wedding, and just what he had to go through to pass through these roadblocks. I've heard the Gaza Strip and the West Bank described as the world's biggest open-air prison. And the way these people lead their daily lives, having to get passes to go to work, to get shortages of gas, of water, of just basic necessities. And then I watched this video. And I see the people dancing, and most of these kids dancing at this open air. I mean, people have a right to enjoy themselves and to enjoy life. And a lot of these kids have a better car, newer cars than I have at 57 years old, working my entire life. A funny thing too, not funny, but I watched the people dancing in this video before it all starts. So you start to see puffs of smoke, and they don't realize what's coming. And I see none of these people are smiling. They all look very serious when they're dancing. I didn't see one smile on any of them. This is before it all starts, when they're actually, they're just dancing and having, it's 6 a.m., the sun's coming up, they've been partying all night, and I don't see, maybe they're tired, but I don't see one, they look, it's not that, they're not smiling. They look very serious. let me talk about this too. One of the first, like I said, I'd never had a Palestinian. I've never talked to a Palestinian person, and I wish I did. I enjoy. I need to hear all input. Like with religion, I bought a Quran, I bought a Torah, a Bible. You know, I like to learn about all religions to try to get an overall view of what I want to, what I believe, how I feel this all impacts me. I did have a friend back when I was driving a truck, and I was delivering books, paperback books, and this older Jewish gentleman, Marvin Brownstein, I still remember his name, and I was a 20-something drug-using driver, and he was back in the warehouse in his 60s, about ready to retire. He had a lot of medical problems with his kidneys and his liver, but we were good friends. I remember being broke when I was a truck driver, and I would spend my whole check every Wednesday. And then I'd be broke the whole week. I wouldn't have money for food or gas. And the only person in that whole place that would lend me money, later in the week, I didn't have money for food or gas. And he would, no problem, he'd peel off a couple 20s and just give it to me. And he would never ask, I would always pay him back. But he would never even question me. And he knew that I had issues with substance abuse, but he knew, he's the only person that did this for me. I remember asking him, I was a 20-something kid, and I was still, I said harsh things, and I remember asking him. I remember just coming out and asking him, like, why do a lot of people seem to despise Jewish people so much, Marvin? Why? I don't get it. World War II, everything going back all through history. Why them? Why are they seen as, I understand the whole Bible thing and everything, but still, why so much animosity for all these years? And Marvin's like, Daryl, I don't know. This whole thing with the way they're looked at and their physical appearance or money and stuff like that. And he just looked at me and said, Daryl, I don't know. I remember asking him, I didn't know what the word mensch means. And I was like, Marvin, what does mensch mean? And he goes, Daryl, you're a mensch. And he told me what mensch means, a stand-up guy. And he's gone now. He's passed away. But he was one of my best friends. I'll remember my whole life, a Jewish man. And I wish I could say the same of a Palestinian person. All right, let's get to this video. Okay, in this video, there's going to be the link down below. It's going to be the first one on top. And it's harsh. Like I said, I read the description, and I wanted to find this video and see it for myself. It starts out, like I said, it's a dash cam, just filming away as this all takes place. And there's a Palestinian man, armed Palestinian man, and he's kind of bouncing around in front of the camera. He's pointing. I got to be careful how I talk in this video. And then you see him go and grab somebody else, one of the party goers, and the party goer is injured, and he drags him across in front of the camera, and he takes him off. As you're watching this, you realize that there's a person laying behind a car. And you see that this is one of the scenes that I'll never forget. Something you can't unsee. And at first you don't even realize this body is there, and then you realize this person is playing dead, and this person unwisely lifts their head up and looks around. You can't tell if it's a man or a woman, and they shouldn't have done that. And some of the Palestinian men run over, and I can't even say what happens next. At point blank, the person is gone. The person that was playing dead and lifted their head up was spotted, and then it just gets worse. If it's possible, it gets worse from there. They find a person inside the car, a woman that this person was laying. The person was laying behind, and they drag her out. It's a horrific video to watch. But as I watch this, like I said, I see these young people dancing away, with these expensive cars and what would appear to be not a care in the world. And not too far away, where you have this inequality, what I've heard described as an open air prison. And the analogy, what it reminded me of is a spring. When you keep twisting a spring more and more. And again, this reminds me of Native Americans here, the way Native Americans were treated, the Trail of Tears. And then you hear about how these Indians, that's why I could never watch like a cowboy Indian movie from the 40s and 50s, because the cowboys were always portrayed as, the good guys, and the Indians, the massacres, the bad guys. And you don't see what, the people, what these settlers, these good guys were doing to these Native Americans this whole time. Pushing them, the Trail of Tears, the whole on reservations, what they were doing to Native American children and women, which I can't even describe here. You only heard the other side of it, the good guys, taking care of the bad guys, the brutal monsters, the Native Americans, and I can't help but see that here. When I watch these movies, these Palestinian movies, and you realize the way the oppression and the inequality that these people are living under. They lived in Palestine. And I have empathy for both sides. And then I see there's another report down below where I started reading up on the West Bank, and I understand that there's settlers there, and the settlers just keep moving further in and displacing and taking the Palestinian people's homes and moving further and further in. And a lot of times these Israelis are armed. And there's a link down below where in the West Bank, I think it's October 6th or 7th, just a few days ago after this happened, these Israeli settlers kind of reacted the same way and approached Palestinians. There's an 18-year-old girl that lost her life, that was shot in the chest. The story's down below, by Israeli settlers. And it's just, I see so much animosity on both sides, but I have empathy for both sides and the inequality. I talked in my last video about how Donald Trump was fear-mongering. It said this, you better watch out. This could come here. Those leftist radicals, this could come here. And I started thinking about that. And I'm almost thinking, he might be onto something there. And it's not often that I would agree with Donald Trump Jr. I think his father, Donald Trump, just in the news a day or two ago, was all angry because he was no longer listed on the Forbes 400 most richest people in the world, or richest Americans. And he's bragging about how he's worth $5 billion, or his home's worth $5 billion. And I'm thinking about that, $5 billion. How do you work? How do you pull yourself up by your bootstraps? Here in America with opportunity, you don't. Does Donald Trump, I've had calluses on, from working my whole life. Did Donald Trump work his whole life? He inherited this money. This whole thing here, where if you work hard enough, you could be, like Donald Trump. That's no. This is inherited money. This is generational inheritance money, and these people are just getting more and more wealthy off the people that are working. And you think of Donald Trump, and he's all upset because he's not one of the richest. What do you do with $5 billion? Or $50 billion. To somebody like me or you, that is just, you can't even, it's astronomical. You can't spend that in a lifetime, even if you spent, $250,000 a day. I think you wouldn't even be able to spend that in a lifetime. And then, and you look at Donald Trump and his gold toilets. Take, for instance, a gold toilet. What kind of person has a gold toilet when just miles away, they're single mothers, struggling, working 3 jobs, and I know there's MAGA Republicans out there. Well, she can do it too, it's because of her lifestyle or her choices, and Donald Trump pulled himself up by his bootstraps, and this is capitalism in America, and all that crap. And, and people are just, and it's true, people are just getting more and more wealthy, and there's a bigger gap. And maybe sooner or later, this something like that will come here, where you have people that are just oppressed, that they have no chance ever. It's basically like slavery, where people are working 3 jobs, and the other people that own these businesses with the generational wealth are just getting more and more wealthy with gold toilets and worrying about how they're not listed in the top billionaires instead of the top, it's just, and how many yachts this guy's got. And it's just, it's gone beyond the right to happiness and lifting yourself up by your bootstraps. It's oppression. It's starting to get to be oppression, and some people have no chance of ever achieving happiness or security here in America. Those are my thoughts today. I hope it made some sense. The links will be down below. The top link down below will be the video I talked about, and there's some very graphic scenes in it. I'm warning you. And then the stories down below that, I'm going to put the movies, the Palestinian movies that I've watched that have made me see and feel empathy for the Palestinian people in this conflict too. Like I said, I feel empathy for both sides in this. And the animosity is just hard to watch. It really is on both sides. You just seeing it escalate. And I think all it's going to take is for other people to get involved in this, and it's going to turn into a worldwide bonfire. All right. I hope this made some sense. The links will be down below. You guys have a good Tuesday.